One of the most common and also annoying things that happens when you're the seller of a co-op or a condo is when you find out that you have open permits on the unit and you have no idea what to do about them. So open permits occur for one of typically two reasons. One, you did work to your unit and the contractor or expediter didn't get it signed off. That's a technical term where the DOB, Department of Buildings in New York, literally says everything is totally fine. And when I look up your place online, I can see that every single permit that was opened is now officially closed. That's exactly what you want. Sometimes a contractor or expediter doesn't do that for any number of reasons, right? That happens. And typically you're not going to know as an end user because the contractor or expediter will simply tell you, yep, all is taken care of. The second instance, which is just as common, is you buy a place and when you bought it, you had open permits on it from that prior seller. And now you've inherited the open permit problem. We can go back and sort of discuss why that's the case, but realistically it's a combination of some shoddy lawyering sometimes, but more often, this wasn't the thing that many people searched 5, 6, 7 years ago. And because of that, these things fell through the cracks. Now, every single deal we do a permit search, whether we represent the seller or whether we represent the purchaser. So if you're a seller, we're going to do a open permit search on your unit when you retain us to make sure that there's no open permits. The real big problem with open permits is if a buyer and when a buyer finds that the permits are there, it may complicate or actually cancel the transaction itself. Banks don't want to close with open permits. There is boilerplate contractual language that says that the purchaser shall purchase only if all permits are actually closed off. So you have every single incentive to ensure that everything's done correctly. Best practice is to try and do this way ahead of time, way ahead of listing, but no one really does that, and so that's okay. The second best thing you can do once you find out that there is an open permit on your place is to reach out to an expediter or a contractor and find out the manner and expense to close this thing out and to do so quickly. Now, if someone before you, if the seller that sold to you had an open permit and you inherited it, it stinks, but you have to deal with it. And the expediter or contractor can tell you how to do so. It's now become your expense, right? For better or worse, and it's something that you need to deal with. Really good expediters can give you a good action plan and a very accurate cost estimate of what it will take to take care of this. Many times, no work is actually required. You just have to do a number of papers that have to be signed and file with the city, but only they know how to do that. So if and when you find out that there's a permit on your place, ensure to get in touch with an expediter. We have awesome referrals, people we've worked with for years, and I'm happy to put you in touch with them. But just as an overall strategy, this is something that has to be dealt with one way or the other. Happy to help in any way that I can.